Hey students, so this is part 2 of the review. This is just going to continue reviewing another topic that we covered in this unit. This is the unit of writing systems of equations from word problems. So technically I can show you as many examples as I can, but at the end of the day it comes down to you having the reading skills and the analyzation skills needed to write those equations. So let's go ahead and try the first example. We have a scenario that says that at the local grocery store, they're making a 9-pound mixture of trail mix. And this trail mix contains the raisins, sunflower seeds, and chocolate covered peanuts. So as you're reading, get into the strategy that you were taught in English class to read and underline, circle, whatever is important. Also, the raisins cost $2 per pound, so that's the raisins. Sunflower seeds cost $1 per pound. And then chocolate covered peanuts, $1.50 per pound. Next, it says the mixture calls for twice as many raisins, so that's super important. Twice as many raisins as sunflower seeds. Then the total cost of the mixture is $14.50. All right, so all that information is important to create those equations. The question at the end will always tell you what your variables will represent in case you don't know. So the question says how many pounds of raisins, sunflower seeds, and chocolate covered peanuts were in the mix. That means you're going to write down X, Y, Z and identify the 3 things they're talking about, which is raisins, the seeds, sunflower seeds, and the peanuts. So with these variables, we're going to create 3 equations. One of them will be money goes with money. So if they're talking about money for each, that goes with the money for the total. So raisins are $2, so we're going to have 2x, $2 per pound for raisins. And then for seeds, we have $1 per pound, so we're going to say plus $1 per pound. So we could just set y. This is just 1y. And then the last one is the peanuts, so 150z equals how much total it was, so 1450. So you don't know how many you bought of each, but you do know that once you know, you will multiply times each, however much each one costed, and then you add it together to get 1450. So that's your first equation. Second equation will be understanding that there was a total of a 9-pound mixture, which means that regardless of whatever amount each one was, they were a total of 9 pounds. It's a trail mix, that was all of it mixed. So we're going to have X plus Y plus Z, all of it mixed. It will equal 9 pounds. And the last equation will be that tricky sentence that says the mixture calls for twice as many raisins as sunflower seeds. Twice as many raisins as sunflower seeds. It makes you want to say that you're going to do 2 times the raisins to equal the seeds. However, this one, if you think about it, if you have twice as many raisins as sunflower seeds, this is not going to work because you have more raisins than seeds. And if that's true, then you got to do 2 times the seeds to equal the raisins. So you could have more raisins than the seeds. So that results in the equation of the raisins, x, equals 2 times the seeds, 2y. And that's your system of equations right there. So some questions on the test will have you just simply identify the system for the scenario. If needed, you will have to solve. But once again, on the previous video, I showed you how to do that. You will have to rewrite your systems into a matrix and then type the matrix into your calculator to find the answer, the solution to the problem. And this one will literally make sense. Once the solution is given to you, we will identify how many pounds were for each. So if you need an example, come see me. I will work with you on that. But for now, just for practice purposes, let's try another example of word problem. So let's try the one below. Farmer plants corn, oats, soybeans, and a 240-acre farm. So corn, oats, soybeans, that already sounds like those are the 3 things we're going to have for X, Y, and Z. The farmer wants to plant the same number of acres of corn as the combined number of acres of oats and soybeans. So carefully read that. And 3 times as many acres of soybeans as oats. So, first of all, what can we start with? We'll maybe understand that there's 240 acres in total. And at the end it says, how many acres of each crop does the farmer need? That means that X, Y, and Z represent acres for each. Acres of corn, acres of oats, acres of soybeans. So if all of those are acres and there's a 240 acre farm, that means that when we add all of them, it will be 240. And after that, we can now read the one that has a tricky explanation there of the same number of acres of corn as the combined number of acres of oats and soybeans. So combined means we're going to be adding two things. We're going to be adding, according to this, acres of oats and soybeans. Oats and soybeans are Y plus Z. So that means if we want the same meaning equal, that means we have X equals Y plus Z. We have corn equals the acres of corn equals the acres of oats and soybeans. And the last one says 3 times as many acres of soybeans as oats. So this is the part that I mentioned in class, that whenever they mention as many as or more than or less than, these phrases are meant to confuse you, but they actually mean that whatever it's mentioned after has to go first. So for example, it says as many as oats. So oats has to go first. Oats is Y. So it's 3 times as many acres as oats. So it's 3 times Y equals soybeans. If you read it carefully, it says you have 3 times as many acres of soybeans as oats. You have more acres of soybeans than oats. So whatever amount of oats you have, you're going to triple that, and that's how many acres of soybeans you have. Okay, it's just a visual if you need to kind of visualize it in your head or make a sketch, but it's all about understanding, rereading, annotating, whatever you need to do to make sense of it. All right, so that's your system. And once again, if you want to solve this, you will have to go through the process of rewriting into standard form and then solving using your matrix method. Okay, I hope this video helps with writing systems.